Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at virginiafarmbureau.com.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy, brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Virginia grain growers have benefited from a loyal partner for nearly a half-century. Chef Maxwell concocts a sweet dessert just in time for the 4th of July. And we highlight the farmers and farm economy of Franklin County, Virginia. Welcome back, everyone. We are coming to you from a grain operation in Powhatan County this week. Corn, wheat, and soybeans are all major crops in the Old Dominion. As Dave Miller reports, some grain growers have been getting professional help to sell their crops for the last 45 years, thanks to the Virginia Farm Bureau.
Virginia farmers sold $264 million worth of barley, corn, soybeans, and wheat in 2015. Since 1972, a significant number of those sales were coordinated through the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation's Grain Marketing Division in Richmond.
They work really hard on all the agronomy, getting the table set, so to speak, getting the crop planted, getting it protected, and getting it into the bin. And what we work for in the grain division is advocating for a proactive approach to marketing the bushels that they've worked so hard to produce.
It's less stress on them. It helps them not worry so much about marketing because we do most of the work for them.
Virginia farmers raise a lot more livestock than grains, particularly poultry, so grain growers have the advantage of a strong local market for their crops. Harper says whether the grain goes to feed cattle, chicken, or turkeys, he can help a Farm Bureau member find a good price.
Whether it's in the valley of Virginia or east of the mountains or even in southwest Virginia or on the shore. Our soybeans, oilseed, on the other side, we're very fortunate with being close proximity to the port of Virginia and having access to those shipping lanes. We've got exporters in Virginia that work hard to be able to give us outside markets for our oilseeds as well. And also on corn, we're thankful to have a new ethanol industry in Virginia, and a good portion of Virginia-grown corn will wind up in the ethanol industry here locally.
The corn is used for chicken feed, all of it is. The soybeans, we sell that to Purdue, and some of it is shipped locally. They send it locally. A lot of it is exported. A lot of the wheat also goes to Purdue, and a lot of that is exported, and a percentage of it probably goes to Roanoke. They have a mills, Roanoke City Mills in Roanoke, that makes flour and et cetera with it.
Farmers have sold their own grain to buyers for centuries. Why use an outsider? Wayne Kirby of Hanover County says today's grain market has gotten so complex it helps to have expert assistance.
Align yourself with people who do it for a living, who understand the ins and outs of the market and the complexities of it, all the terms that's used, the forward contract and the basis contracts, just becoming better educated. I farm with my son. I'm old school, he's the new school, and thank goodness he's starting to pick that up and doing a better job of understanding it more so than I have been in the past.
More corn is raised in one county in Iowa than in all of Virginia, so Midwest grain prices basically determine what farmers in the Old Dominion receive for their crop. Even so, there are opportunities to either lock in a good price with a contract or take advantage of market swings. Harper says the Grain Marketing Service helps growers take the best approach.
We do strive for a plan that is proactive, where we're not reacting to news. We're not selling out of fear. We're not selling out of hope. We're working to know what our cost of production is. We're working off of what we expect our yield to be, and we come up with a target price, and we set our wish orders in with our destinations or our open orders with our broker, and we try to be disciplined and stick to that plan. You know, we use the term a lot in grain marketing of risk management, and what we're really trying to do is strive for an average price for the bushels grown that's at the profit that we want, and certainly above our cost of production.
Harper says the world needs every kernel of corn and soybeans that Virginia farmers raise, and it's his job to help them make a profit while they focus on raising the best crops they can. In Amelia County, I'm Dave Miller.
Soybeans are the most valuable grain crop raised in Virginia, generating $193 million in cash receipts. Corn is next at $168 million, and wheat is the third most valuable crop for farmers, bringing in $75 million. Corn and soybeans are summer crops, while wheat, oats, and barley are usually planted in the fall, go dormant over the winter, and are harvested in the late spring. So an enterprising grain farmer can keep his fields in production almost year-round.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about green beans from the ground up. Please stay tuned.
More than 90 years ago, the Virginia Farm Bureau made a promise to our local farmers to protect and preserve a way of life they'd worked so hard to establish. Today, our insurance agents work to protect all Virginians, not just farmers. Anyone can be a Farm Bureau member and enjoy the many benefits of membership. There's a local Farm Bureau in every county of the state. We think everyone should be a friend of the farm. Visit our website at virginiafarmbureau.com to learn more.
Green beans are a favorite vegetable both in the home garden and on the dinner table. Chris Mullins finds some secrets from a community gardener on how to raise snaps from the ground up.
Well, hi, today we're at Palmer Springs Community Garden. This is in southern Virginia in Mecklenburg County, and we're going to be talking about green beans. Well, you might call them snaps or string beans, but they're all the same thing. We're here with Mr. Ronnie Alexander. Thank you so much for letting us come here today. I know you manage this community garden, and this is a true community garden where people come in and help out, right?
Yeah.
And then they harvest, and they get part of the produce from here. And I know you've got lots of things planted, but you've got a really nice stand of beans. Now, these are bush beans, is that right?
Bush beans, yeah.
So the other type would be a pole bean. They run up a trellis. So these are nice in that you don't have to worry about trellising them, right?
That's right, yeah.
Now, when did you plant these beans?
We planted these the last week in April.
Last week in April, okay. And they're probably maybe 50, 60
days
day
maturity, yeah.
So you could plant these you could almost get 2 plantings in this area, or you could plant a little bit later in the summer too, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
And some of the people out there don't have to plant early. They can plant late and going into the fall with beans. Beans in general don't need a lot of fertilizer. Did you fertilize much?
We fertilized before when we did the cultivation, the disking.
Okay.
And put the 17, fertilizer in it.
Gotcha. And you'll probably put some irrigation on these beans.
Well, not yet. We've been blessed with a lot of rain.
Okay.
But we got a drip irrigation system we plan to install.
Because in southern Virginia, July always gets some drought time, don't you?
It gets drought.
Mr. Alexander, how did you space these? I noticed the rows are about 3 feet apart, but within the row, how close are they?
Well, actually, I spread them about 3 to 4 seeds per foot.
3 to 4 seeds per foot, and that should be good enough. They'll come up and they won't be overcrowded.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
These aren't ready to harvest yet.
Not yet.
But how will you do the harvest on these?
Well, after blooming, they get 3 to 4 inches tender while they're tender.
Okay.
That's when we will harvest.
So you don't want those seeds in that pod to get real big?
No, you want them good and tender.
Good and tender, okay. That makes sense. And you just snap them off there. And now, I notice you've got some dust on here. Is that an insecticide?
Insecticide, yes.
And so you do get some beetle damage on
Get beetle damage, yeah.
They'll make those little holes in the leaves.
Right.
But you were telling me earlier this does something else.
Oh yeah, it helps keep the deer away. The deers will not eat it with the dust on it.
Gotcha.
Where it doesn't happen here.
That's good. And here, you're in a rural area. You get a lot of deer, don't you?
Lots of deer.
And other people are going to have deer damage if they raise beans because they love the beans. Well, that is wonderful. Thank you so much for letting us come out and see the garden today. It's a beautiful garden. Really doing a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Well, for more information about growing snap beans in the garden, and especially all the varieties that you could choose, contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins, and we'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.
Chef Maxwell brings us a recipe today the whole family will enjoy for all the 4th of July picnics that's coming up. Stay with us.
From our farms to your table. Virginia dairy farm families are dedicated to providing your family with nutritious, high-quality milk.
I'm Dan Myers, a 5th-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I'm Roy Vanderhyde, a 1st-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I'm Gerald Heatwell, a 3rd-generation dairy farmer from Virginia.
I am dedicated to dairy, my cows,
my milk,
and our land.
It's called a trifle and it's delicious. Today, Chef John Maxwell takes us into his kitchen using fresh Virginia fruits to create this 4th of July dessert in the heart of the home.
Hi, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. I'm Chef John Maxwell, and we're here at Meadow Hall and Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia, and we're going to play with some beautiful fruits of the summer. Virginia summers are really special. The blueberries, strawberries, raspberry, all of these fruits are just gorgeous. And we're going to make a 4th of July trifle. It's an old-fashioned English dessert that layers all of these berries with some cake. What I've got here is some cream. Now, most recipes you see will call for milk, and that's very good. Milk will work, but it's a little more tricky than cream or half and half even because of the extra fat that's in it. And when you can make a dessert like this, the level of fat isn't as critical as it would be in some other things. So I've got half and half in here, right? And I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, right? And dissolve that in there. Now I've got 3 egg yolks in this, and you see I've got this on a rolled up towel to keep it from slipping around because I've got a process I'm going to have to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see that the bowl's not spinning, stays nice and in place. So I whisked the egg yolks. I'm going to add some sugar. And whisk that around. I'm going to add some cornstarch. A lot of recipes will tell you to add flour or cornstarch or a mixture of both. I like to just go with straight cornstarch. It doesn't tend to lump up quite as much as flour could. I'm going to add a little bit of this half and half to make sure I've got a nice smooth liquid. I want to get all of the lumps, bits of sugar, bits of cornstarch down into the egg yolk. As you can see, this will be a sweet dessert. But 4th of July is a sweet holiday. And we're ready for the hot milk. Okay, what I'm going to be doing now is called tempering. I'm going to add a little bit of milk, hot milk, and stir it in because I don't want the eggs to curdle. If I add it too fast, it'll cook the egg yolks, and the egg yolks will turn into scrambled eggs, and it won't make a good sauce. What I'm going to do is add the egg yolks and this mixture into the hot milk, because they're now both at about the same temperature and they won't curdle. And now this is just a process of cooking and stirring. I don't want it to stick to the bottom. I want it to come up to heat slowly, and it'll start to thicken. This is beginning to thicken up. It's still going to take a minute or two. Take it off the heat there. All right, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now you could use any kind of flavoring that you want. A particular fan of Grand Marnier and something like this. Vanilla is a good, stable, goes with everything kind of thing. All right, now this has got to cool down. When it cools down, we're going to build our dessert. So I've got this ready to go. Let me pull my dish over here. All right, and let's start. I've got some pound cake I've already cut up. This is a very rich, very moist pound cake with lemon flavoring, and it's going to work fine for us. All right. I'm going to take some raspberry sauce, all right, and just kind of dribble it around a little bit. And then take some of the pastry cream, all right, and put it down in here. Move that around. Then add some raspberries. Some blueberries. Some strawberries. And some more cake. Okay, and what do you think I should do next? Yeah, some more pastry cream. All right, I'm going to go with an outside edge of raspberries. I'm going to put some blueberries in the center. And this is our 4th of July trifle. I'm going to put a few strawberries right in the center, and one more hit of raspberry syrup. And there we go. That's our trifle. We'll just take a spoonful out of this, put it on, but we want to let it set now for about an hour to let all those flavors blend together and let the cake absorb some good flavors. Join us next week on Heart of the Home when we get to play with more great Virginia food.
Recipes from the heart of the home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at VAFB.com, as well as on Chef Maxwell's website at ChefJohnMaxwell.com. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and strawberries are small fruits raised across Virginia. Many are raised on pick-your-own farms, especially strawberries, and are sold directly when in season. Researchers at Virginia Tech and Virginia State University collaborate with scientists in other states to help reduce disease and insect problems, both for commercial growers and home gardeners. All of these fruits are available year-round from other states or even nations, but nothing beats the taste of a freshly picked berry in the summertime, and that gives Virginia small fruit growers a competitive advantage.
As part of a new series on agriculture in Virginia counties, we're going to take a closer look at the farmers and the farm economy in Franklin County, Virginia. As Norm Hyde reports, this rural community continues to have a strong agricultural backbone.
Franklin County is nestled in the foothills between Roanoke and Martinsville. Settled in 1785, the county is named for founding father Benjamin Franklin, and tobacco and timber were its first farm products. Today, it's the second largest dairy-producing county in Virginia.
Together, dairy and beef cattle, we figure is 45,000 cattle and calves in Franklin County. Ag revenue as a whole is $65 million. And as far as crops, with the dairy cattle, we have to make feed, so there's 10,000 acres of corn silage grown and 35,000 acres of forage for hay.
Dozens of Virginia dairy farmers have retired in recent decades, but the dairy business is still important here. Tanya Young says one reason is their strong family heritage.
My grandfather started it 50 years ago. My dad still does it. My brother and I now do it. And it's basically just to keep that legacy alive. That's the main reason that I dairy farm today.
Milk prices have been below the cost of production for several years, and it can be hard work to be a dairy farmer. But Young says there are good days on the farm as well.
You have live animals, of course, that you take care of every single day. There are times that it is financially stable. And then just working outdoors every day with cows and hay is fun.
With 1,023 farms on 165,000 acres, the farm economy remains strong in Franklin County. Tobacco production declined after the federal tobacco program ended in 2002, and many producers moved into beef cattle or retired. But there's still 4 tobacco operations remaining on 525 acres. In addition to 45 dairy farms, there are 531 beef cattle operations, 35,000 acres of hay and forage land, and about 25 acres of local produce. Timber harvesting is also a source of farm income. Franklin County Farm Bureau President Jason Thurman is a third-generation farmer who raises purebred Angus beef cattle with his father and a cousin.
Cattle worked well for us. The beef cattle, my grandfather got in the business in 1960, and that's kind of was his passion, that kind of deal. So we learned the trade from him as we grew up as kids.
Thurman says the Foothills Produce Auction started in Franklin County in 2016, and his family now puts in 2 acres of fresh vegetables to sell to local restaurants and consumers.
We used to grow a small garden. I never really thought that we would get into growing a big enough garden to sell to the community, that kind of deal. We've always grown enough for the family to have something fresh produce to eat and that kind of deal. But as the ag business changes and different things come to Franklin County, I think the produce is one of the growing industries here.
One other factor has given a boost to the local farm economy. Nearby Smith Mountain Lake was created to supply water to a power plant, and the owners of vacation homes have a lot of spending power.
The lake was built back in the 60s. Probably since the 70s, the green industry has exploded. Landscapers, people mowing lawns, hardscapes. It's created a lot of jobs in this county, which is part of the agriculture background.
Thurman says most Franklin County farmers are part-timers like himself, and being close to Roanoke and Martinsville has helped many of them find off-farm employment. But this is still a rural community where most residents appreciate agriculture and the boost it gives to their economy.
We are in a rural community. Farmers are, for the most part here in the county, are respected.
Every dollar that comes through our dairy farm goes back into the county and helps pay for Walmart, groceries, doctor's bills, everything, gas, everything you can think of, and it's an enormous amount.
They appreciate the heritage. Even the new business park that's coming online, they're saving a lot of the ag structures, the silos, the old farmhouse, and people appreciate the views, the vistas, driving down the roads and seeing pastures and cropland. They like that about Franklin County.
The farmers of Franklin County are adapting to changing markets and public opinion. The good news is they can draw from a deep well of public affection for agriculture and the men and women who are the bedrock of their community. In Franklin County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we are proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good week.
Home will always be Chesapeake Bay.